Welcome to the world of science. My dear students, we are going to start our section of class 6 and I am here to deal with the physics and the chemistry. Okay, I think you are familiar with the word science. Are you able to think a world without science? Even when we are waking up in the morning, we will brush from the toothpaste, the clothes what we are wearing, everything is actually made up of science or the products of science. My watch is there, our blackboard is there, or we are having electricity, we are having mobile phones. Okay, so everything is a product of science. Now, in class 6, we are going to divide science into 3 categories. I am sure that from the lower sections you are studying general science. In that already you have studied all these things in one particular subject. Now we have to study a little more deeper about science. Okay, so in order to make it easy, we are going to divide science subject into 3 categories now. One is chemistry. We are going to start with the chemistry. Then another one is physics. This is both physics and chemistry will come under the science of non-living things. The science of non-living things. And another one more branch is there, biology. Biology is going to deal with the science of living things. Science of living things will come under plants, animals, birds, everything. Whatever is nothing living, we will study in the subject biology. And here we are going to deal with both physics and chemistry. And now we are going to start with the chemistry. Let me ask you a question. What is science? Can you say that what is science? So many answers will be there. So our first chapter is Introduction to Chemistry. We are going to start with the subject chemistry. Our first chapter is Introduction to Chemistry. I am sure that you have already studied about this, but we have divided chemistry as a branch of science and we are going to focus on chemistry now. Okay, now science. The word science came from a Latin word scientia, which means, or the meaning of scientia is knowledge. Okay, science, the word science is coming from a Latin word is scientia, and the scientia is coming from the Latin word, and this meaning of this word scientia is knowledge. So science is something related to knowledge. Whatever we are studying is related to knowledge. Now, how we are going to acquire knowledge in the field of science? In the field of science, we are going to acquire the knowledge by observations and experimentations. 2 main processes of learning of science are, one is observation and the second one is experimentation. So, mainly in the branch of science, we need 2 skills to develop in ourselves. One is observation and another one is experimentation. Observation means what? We are going to observe how things are going to happen around us. Around us many things are happening, and being a science student, we should observe the things around us, whatever things are happening around us. Another one is experimentation. If we have to prove something, we will do an experiment. So, science students, being a science student, what should be a main skill? Observation and experimentation. And science means it's truth only. So, through the experiment, we will experiment something, and if the result is positive, then only we will say that the result of this one is that. Then only we will believe on that. Okay, so in order to have a belief in science, we should have an experimentation, and the result of the experimentation should be positive. Okay, now next one is some people are there around the world. You might be knowing that one scientist. There are so many scientists around the world. We all are scientists, but we are not using our skills, observation and experimentation skills that much. That's why we are not called, we are not becoming as a well-known scientist. We are also a little bit, we can call that we are also a small scientist. Okay, now what is scientist? The people who is engaged with the observation and experimentation, and those who are acquiring knowledge through observation and experimentation is called as a scientist. Okay, scientist means a group of people, those who are engaged with the observation and experimentation. Why they are engaged with this observation and experimentation? To acquire knowledge. That knowledge is called science. Okay, so this is up to science. Generally, we can say that science and scientists. Now, next one is, my question is, what is chemistry? What is chemistry? The definition of chemistry is characteristics and composition of various forms of matter along with changes they undergo. The characteristics and composition of various forms of matter along with the changes they undergo. So, have you heard about the word matter? Have you heard about matter? Matter you have heard, no? You have studied. Solid, liquid, gases are three forms of matter. Okay, so they are called various forms of matter. And we are going to, in the chemistry, we are going to deal with the characteristics and composition of various forms of matter along with the changes they undergo. What changes will be there? When we are performing or when we are doing something, what will happen for sewage? And we are doing some other things, what will happen for this another stage? Gases or liquid. Okay, so all these are mainly three states of matter. We are going to deal with this characteristic and composition of this states of matter and changes they undergo. Okay, now we have to understand about the historical perspective. What will be the history of this chemistry or the science? So before 10,000 BC or the ancient time onwards, we or the people, those who were living at that time, they were able to have the knowledge of science. For example, they have found these wheels, they have found fire. Okay, so when the ancient people, when we are dealing with them, they have this pottery pot, they were made up of clay. Okay, they were making the stone sharper and they were using as weapons. So these all are actually what the process of developing science. So in your textbook, some historical events are given. What is the ancient civilization had developed technologies that would eventually form the basis of various branches of chemistry. These included extracting metals from ores, making pottery, fermenting wine, extracting chemicals from plants for medicine and perfume, and manufacturing soap and making glass. So these are the things. What first one is extracting metals from ores. That means they have found metal, they have found silver, they have found gold, they have found copper, and they were able to separate these metals from other things. Sometimes stone pieces will be there, soil will be there. So they were able to separate these ores from the other things. Another one is they were very efficient to make different shape of pots and all. Using clay, they were made these pots, glasses, etc. They have made. Then fermenting wine, they were able to make wine on those times. Actually, this making of wine is also a chemical change, will come under chemistry. Then again, the next one is extracting chemicals from the from plants for medicine and perfume. Earlier, nowadays we are having these medicines using some compounds or the chemical compounds are there. We are joining that one for perfumes also. Maybe we will be add some smell and everything will under some chemicals. But earlier, how they were having this medicinal, they were depending on plants and all for taking this medicine as well as perfumes. They were having that knowledge. What is that? Science. So chemistry was there on those time also. Then manufacturing soap and making glass. They were able to manufacture soap. They were able to make glasses. These all will come under chemistry. So ancient people onwards we are having the knowledge of science or the knowledge of chemistry. Now, during the medieval period, many people were innovated of the ancient practice of alchemy, the study of atoms of transmutation of known metals into gold. Then, some of the great minds of chemistry is given in your textbook. You can undergo that one. The first one is Henry Cavendish. He produced hydrogen and carbon dioxide in his laboratory. Then, Joseph Priestley discovered 10 gases including sulfur dioxide and carbon monoxide. Then, Anthony Laurent Lavoisier named oxygen and hydrogen, developed the law of conservation of mass. Then John Dalton is there, Mendeleev is there, Marie Curie is there, J.J. Thomson is there, P.C. Ray is there, Ernest Rutherford is there, S.N. Bose is there, Sienna Rao is there, Venkatraman Ramakrishnan is there. See, these all are great minds of chemistry. We are also having the same mind, but we have to think more. We have to observe more. We have to experiment more. So these all are the people, those who were having more observation and experimentation, and they have become a known scientist. We are also scientists, we are not that much well known. Okay, so by studying chemistry, physics and biology or science, we have to become or we have to develop the skills of observation and experimentation, and through developing these skills you can become a scientist. Okay, so whatever things we have learned, we were studying about the word science. The word science is coming from a Latin word scientia, which means knowledge. So science is actually acquiring of knowledge. How we are acquiring knowledge in science? We through developing two main skills. One is observation and another one is experimentation. Then next one is scientist, the people who are engaged with this observation and experimentation, and through that acquiring knowledge is known as scientist. And what is chemistry? Chemistry is the characteristics and composition of various forms of matter. Various forms means solid, liquid, gas, along with the changes they undergo. When we are giving more heat or when we are taking out the heat, what changes will be happening for these forms of matter? This is called chemistry. Okay, and we have a textbook, page number 4, some historical perspective of chemistry is given. You can go through that one, and if there is some doubt, you can ask me. Okay, my online we will have some online sections also. Sometimes we will have online sections. At that time, you can have you can ask me the doubts, and we will clear it. Okay, so this much you can take your textbook. This much you study and note down these points on your chemistry book. Thank you.